Welcome along, everyone, here to Rap 4 here in Sao Paulo in Brazil. I am joined alongside Nedzo and hopefully Yale later through our qualifying. But Nedzo, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling well. We're going to a circuit which has thrown up great title battles, great racing and great action throughout the years in real life Formula 1 and in VDRL. There's been a couple of controversial moments here. I believe Toro was involved in it couple of seasons ago, but we should hopefully see some fantastic action nonetheless, and hopefully some rain.
Well, that is the most important one because we love the rain for our action. Maybe not for the drivers, but for our action, 100%. But let's talk about the standings at the moment. That is a 24 point gap between Ruben and Tiaz. Tiaz taking the championship lead so far. Now, Nedzo, do you think this will go down to a last draw, or could we just see Tiaz running off with this?
Well, the thing is, you can never count out Rajic out of these kind of things because in the past you've had guys like Kevin, guys like Toro, who have been there for a couple of races a season or for half a season, and then Rajic will just pull away in the long run. And there are certain drivers like that who've done that in Formula 1 history where they're not necessarily majorly fast out of the blocks, but they've just managed to be consistent over a season, and that's what Tiaz needs to be worried about. Obviously, I think Tiaz is probably the most well-rounded driver on the grid, other than Ruben. But I think this will be a good battle nonetheless. I think that Ruben can get the gap back. He's told me that he wants to win and that it's a circuit that he likes, but he's not very good at. We'll just need to see if it's the same for Tiaz.
Well, hopefully, and obviously, let's talk about the constructors as well. Williams are going to try and go for the top stand, but Sauber have taken it because of Tiaz and I believe Phoebe as well, taking the position of Tiaz's teammate. I mean, that's a 23 gap. That's a 23 point gap, that one. So it's basically the same as the driver standings, and it really is between Ruben and also Tiaz. So that could also come down to a good draw, as you were saying before. But I mean, let me know your thoughts about that constructors.
Well, that does surprise me because Williams has Ruben and Toro, and no offense to Froby, but he's not on the level of Ruben or Toro. So that does surprise me. Obviously, Toro did have that DNF in the first round, which DNFs are going to kill you this season because, in my opinion, I think because the points system we have is very similar to IndyCar, and in IndyCar, because you get a point for every position, they count points for DNF. So if you are the first person to DNF, you get whatever points it is for last place. And I think we should have that in this league because without that, they'll be a lot closer. But yeah, I can see why. Because as I said, if you finish last on the field, you get 10 points. If you DNF, you get 0. So that's the problem they have.
Well, Toro is in P6 in the driver standings at the moment. His stats throughout this season so far, in Belgium he only scored 40 points, and in Britain he obviously scored 28. But did miss out in that first round from those cold tyres, and I do remember that in Saudi Arabia. But I was mistaken that Tiaz's teammate is Remus. Remus is in 50th position, but with only 41 points. So that is a huge gap between, well, the teammates there, as we're now on board with Kevin. Now, a man who is honestly tying to that pole position, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really trying for that pole position. He's got a lot throughout VDRL. He is the most Polish driver in F1 in VDRL history, you could argue. Even though we have Toro, Luzcek, and there's someone else who's Polish in this lobby, and I can't remember now. But he's got so many pole positions. He's basically the Charles Leclerc of this league, except he actually converts his pole positions semi-regularly.
And that is what Kevin really wants to hear, but you... Sorry about that. I think I disconnected then. I think I've come back now. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just randomly cut out. But as I was saying, yeah, Kevin, the man who we want to keep an eye on to go provisional pole position for us. He has already set purple sector 1 because he is the guy who is starting the fastest laps, I believe. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll keep an eye on both the Williams. We know the Williams like to leave it quite late. Do you remember that? Obviously, in Britain, Ruben did have a disconnection, but they leave it to the last minute, don't they?
One thing I'd be worrying if I was Kevin here is this traffic that's in front of him. I don't think it'll get in his way, but it could just distract him a tiny bit here. As he comes through the dive, Magulio, and up towards Jun Chao now, he just needs to be careful, because this isn't a track that Ruben likes. I don't think it's a track that Torres is particularly strong at. So we'll need to see just how well he can do on this first lap, which is a 1 minute 7.2.
So the benchmark now, 107.2, as you said. Lucek on for a quicker lap as well. Navas into the pit lane. Froby in the Mercedes now. Okay, so this is an interesting one. He has changed from a few different things, different teams now, but he's gone over to Mercedes. Chicks has obviously got a qualifying ban after, I don't remember what happened in England. He did do something. I thought Kevin got a quali ban, but maybe not, from slamming into that wall when he got the... I can't remember if he got a puncher or he just really didn't have a very good lap. There was someone. I think it was Jix, never mind. So Vasta, P2 there with a 108.0. So still roughly about nearly a second off from there. And, well, the Haas making his way up. Not all the quick drivers who were expected to be up have set their times yet. Nilu, that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. He has been very high this season. I believe he's third, actually. Third or fourth in the actual driver standings. Here he comes across the line. Where is this going to put him? It's P2 with a 107.5. So, 3/10 separate those two, and we know that Nilu has managed he's managed to find something, and it's just sparks inside of him. Like, yeah, I was great. He is third in the championship there, which only separates him 53 points there, 49 points there from the leader. So he's still way off, but he could still keep third position. I mean, so Nilu has had an incredible season so far.
Yeah, what I'd call him the king of the mid. Even though it's third place, it's king of the midfield, really, or king of the best of the rest. Kind of like a Giancarlo Fisichella, kind of like a Nico Hülkenberg kind of driver. Those ones that couldn't really perform at the top. You wouldn't see them in a top team doing well. But when they're in those midfield teams, they do extremely well. And don't be surprised if we see him get maybe a shock win. He's going to be on for a couple of podiums, definitely this season. He's already got a couple, I believe. And on those days where Kevin has his inevitable offs and when Toro has his electricity issues, he's going to be up there in the podium positions. And he's just one of those kind of drivers. He's got a couple of second places. He hasn't won a race yet in this league, but he can easily do so. As Tiaz is unfortunately invalid on his lap. I don't know what he's done to deserve that, but yeah.
And that is the interesting part, because I want to know. I'm sure, as you were saying, Nilu is definitely on for a win in this championship. He has really shown his potential so far this season. Hopefully, we can see more of him. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and he's really shown it properly as well. But the previous champion Jix has obviously retired, as he has received a quali ban after slamming it into the barriers in the pit lane entrance out of anger, I think, after invalidating his lap time in England, which is a shame, as he misses out there on the top 10. He's actually still got a roughly pace. He's like a bit of a Fernando Alonso, isn't it? Trying to find his grip again and then hopefully get back up in the tables.
The difference is Fernando Alonso occasionally puts on performances that make you think, wow, this guy's still got it. Jix doesn't do that, and I think it's a mix of the standard in this league has got better. It's a similar situation to what Kevin has, where Kevin won all his 6 titles when the field was a lot less stacked. But as Mavis goes second, only a couple of hundredths behind Kevin. But with Jix, it's just a case that these games, it doesn't seem to be good for him on the handling front. It was just F1 24 was a major fall off. 25 is slightly better. And the gaming handling is slightly better. So if F1 26 has a good handling model, he will be good. Remember, this is the winningest driver in VDRL history. He has 34 victories. The next best person has 26, and that's Kevin. So that just shows you how good he was in his prime. He got 34 race victories in about 76 starts. He was winning like 1 in every 2 races he competed.
Well, as you were just saying that, Ruben only just went up to P15 there with a 1:22.7, so he obviously backed out of his lap because the average lap is around, just under the 110s. ACM has left the session. ACM, I believe, is in the Haas. No, where is ACM? ACM is in the RB, there we go, so the RB. Remus locking up the front right, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. Back onto the throttle now, coming along and start-finish straight. Where will this put him? On to the grid. Tiaz will be happy if he can manage to get himself up higher up the grid. No, he's just going to come to the pit lane now. Obviously, he's done a lap and he's happy with it. So P6 there for the Sauber. Williams not liking it at all so far, but let's keep an eye on Ruben. Already purple sector 2, 13 seconds off on his lap time. So we know he's already up for the benchmarker. Will he be able to beat Kevin's lap time? Well, this is the only part to come. Here he comes now, past the... onto the start finish straight now, comes up to the line. What's it going to be? It is only third fastest with a 1:07.5. Now that is a bit of a shock, Nedzo.
I mean, Ruben isn't the strongest qualifier. I think we can all gather that. He also wasn't particularly efficient with his ERS. I don't think he seemed very unprepared when I interviewed him before the race, and he said that he didn't know the strategy. And I'm assuming that includes the ERS strategy, so he'll be figuring things out as he goes along. So watch him improve on these next couple of runs. Fastest, he's actually 6th fastest. Never mind, he's just spun. I was about to say he's actually doing a decent job at the moment, because usually he's kind of dithering about in the midfield, being a bit of a half-wit. But he's not at the moment, which is a nice surprise.
Well, that was an interesting spin from him. He's got traffic in behind. He may have just held up... who was that behind, actually? One of the Williams. That was Kevin. Now, was Kevin on that? No. Well, I don't think so. I think he's going to come into the pit lane now. His ERS was too high anyway, so he obviously wasn't using it. Kevin on for another lap now, and Tiaz. Tiaz is on another lap as well. Tiaz wasn't happy before as he dived into the pit lane, but now he's going to try and go for it. He knows his teammate is already in the top 10, so points are already good secured so far with those two, and he's going to hope that Remus can do that throughout the race, actually. But Kevin is the man to keep an eye on. He wants this pole position. He's been hungry all season, hasn't managed to do it yet. Toro now on an outlap. He will be joining out the pack. There's only 8 minutes left to go of the session, and it's getting a bit suspense now because we'll keep an eye on what Kevin can do on the exit of Sector 2. I didn't see if he actually had improved Nedzo in his first sector.
I didn't see either. We'll see what it's like coming to the second sector split, coming through Magulio. Now, we'll see. It should be an improvement, at least slightly. Yep, 4300 or 43 thousandths of a second. So that's enough. But Tiaz has gone fastest. A 1:07.059 there. I'm not sure if Kevin can break the 1:07s. If he can get into the 6s, it could put his stamp down, but he hasn't, and he's only gone to that P2 slot. Less than a 10th behind, but he needs to improve as someone's just gone up into the top 4. I think I might have been Nilu improving there. As Mayverse is up a 10th. Mayverse is on for a really strong run here. He's on for a really strong lap if he can put this all together.
Well, the boy from Britain looking to get his hopes alive for, hopefully, a win here in Brazil. He did really well. I can't remember. I think it was in Spa. He did really well. Managed to get a podium P3 and holding off Toro as well. But will he be able to do it out here? No, he's 3 tenths down. So obviously something went wrong, and I think I saw a bit of oversteer there for him. So he did, lack out that one. I can imagine he will be diving into the pit lane. Now, yeah, he will. So we'll move down on to Toro. Toro, let's keep an eye on him. He's already started 62. Where is this going to put him onto the grid? We want him to be up at the top step of the podium. Well, his teammate definitely will. But so far, Ruben only 5th fastest, being dropped down there by the Red Bull and Alpine and also the Ferrari Sauber. But Sector 2, it didn't say if he has. He's gone purple Sector 2. Loads of drivers going purple Sector 2. But let's see what he can do now. Coming up to the line, where is this going to put him onto the grid? Will it be enough to beat the 1:07s? Will be interesting because Tiaz has set that. And it's not enough, and it's only 7th fastest behind Nico-san there. He's about 10th of him as well. So that is a big shame there for Toro.
It is. Hello, yeah, Jale's joined us in this lobby. We'll see what he can provide for us. Have you got anything to add? Have you talked to any of the drivers?
No, I'll be completely honest. I was baking cookies up until 2 minutes ago.
Are they special cookies? Have they got a special filling, or are they just cookies?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, okay.
We have some.
Classic, but, nice and standard. How's the qualifying session going?
Good. We have 5 left, and Tiaz is on pole at the moment.
Well, that's nothing new.
No, basically nothing new. But the Williams P5 and P7, Ruben hadn't really had the lap he wants, but we were saying Ruben's not really a quali man, more of a race pace man.
Absolutely.
Mavers in P3 doing quite well. We were saying Kevin could be on for something, but maybe not. Remus pops himself up to P8 there, which is a good thing from him. Stay Daisy, Kevin's teammate, looking for a lap. Really not trying to get most of the, really pushing the cars to the limits. Maybe a bit too much, losing the rear end as well. So Stay Daisy, I can't imagine, will be up for a high points there. People yet to set a lap, Dincho and ACM, but I believe ACM had a disconnection.
Absolutely, we'll see what Stay Daisy can do then. Almost 0.3 of a second up, then coming out of Jinsao. A bit of a snap of overstay then onto the long main straight. A couple corners in it, no proper corners then. ERS and DRS up to the line, still has quite a bit of deployment left, and it's at 180, which puts him on P9 just ahead of XXG Man and Vastas. Once again, we're very close for the, just outside the top 10, just inside, very close in the midfield.
It definitely is, and it's really well. Tiaz is really relying on his teammate as well, as it only stands 23 points between them. But if we can see that the Williams can work together well in the race, which I'm sure they can because we know they've got good race pace, the constructors championship can change a bit. So Tiaz is really relying on Remus to see whether he can, get up in front. Remus maybe getting Toro off the line, holding him off, just increase that gap for him, especially in the Drivers' Championship as well. So it'll be interesting to see what both those Salvas can do.
Yeah, well, the Williams pairing of Ruben and Toro, they have won, I think, every Constructors' Championship on F1 24. So that lineup is tested and it does work. Dincho then just starting his lap now, going through the center. It's a very tricky section to get right because you want to sacrifice turn 1 and turn 2 to get a nice run down the second DRS straight, and then into the more technical part of the lap, then going into sector 2, running a bit wide and keeping his lap valve. Lost a bit of time though, and now you enter the technical section, which it's another interesting track where yes, you want top speed, that main straight is pretty long, but you also want that downforce going through these corners. So it's going to be interesting to see what the different drivers went for in terms of setup.
Yeah, 100%, and it's really interesting to see what strategies will be playing out in the race. Hopefully there'll be talks of rain, fingers crossed, as well.
It is Brazil.
Yeah, it is Brazil. There's lots of rain as well. So look at that. Dincho is going to try and go even quicker now as he comes up to the line. Will Dincho put himself into the top 10? Well, hopefully he can as he comes up to the line now. DRS wide open and he's into the pit lane. So he's not going to go for a lap at all. Yeah, we didn't expect that one. As a looks like an RB straight off there. Was it an RB?
I don't know. All I know is Kevin is on a hot lap then, just coming to the sector 2 split. He is pretty much dead even with his previous best, which is a 17157, pretty much a 10th off provisional pole position with just over 2 minutes left in qualifying. Can Kevin snatch pole position from TS? But he has other competition like Mavers, Nilu, and don't forget the 2 Williams as well. Now coming through the second sector, very nice. You just want to keep the speed up there, not run too wide. Oh, right on the edge there, and he's gone invalid there. Actually, I thought he was on the white line, but he has gone invalid, and it will be interesting to see if he has enough fuel for another lap.
Well, that will be interesting. We were saying earlier, he's been begging for this pole position for a while now. He hasn't yet hasn't got it, this season. But we'll still wait for it. Nico-san, obviously just a bit late on the brakes, testing the cars to its limits, and hopefully he can try and go up in time. He's currently 6th fastest in the sandwich of the Williams pack. So, Toro is out on the lap, and so is Ruben. They're both on the laps. They're both preparing to see what they can do. But hopefully get further up the grid as Nico-san comes up to the line now. Where's he put him into the grid? Will he push him up higher, or will he just stay fast as well? Here he comes now up to the line. What's he going to be? He's going to be 5th fastest. He's beaten both the Williams there. Williams are going to try and strike back on that one. We have got barely any time left in this session. And it's going to get a bit tense now, and Tiaz is on track. Tiaz was not happy with his lap, obviously, and is going to try and secure. We've got 1 minute left of this session. Will the Williams be able to retaliate?
It'll be very interesting to see then if they nail that final lap. They need to find half a second, and around a track like this, half a second, it is doable, but you need to find that time in the second sector. That's what we've been saying. The second sector is where you find time. Sure, turns 1, 2, and 3, the center, it says you can find time. On the straight here, I mean, unless you manage your ERS perfectly, I doubt you'll find time. But Tiaz just starting his final lap of this qualifying session now, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do. The previous pole man, in fact the championship leader, almost going invalid there. I thought for a second he crossed the white line, but no. Opening the DRS now, down the second straight then, towards turn 4 then, and he is, just like Kevin, pretty much dead equal with his previous hot lap then, but this time, unlike Dinshaw, he keeps it well within track limits now. Very nicely done through the double left, and now up there he goes then, up the crest and towards another heavy braking zone, then down to third gear. Nicely done. I think he got a bit of understeer going through there. Now the long left, then gets his foot down, and once again, just like Kevin, right on track limits, as there's a Williams which has spun. That surely put him off just a tiny bit then, despite not being on the racing line. He has got a car ahead. That seems like a Red Bull then, so he is going to get a bit of a slipstream here. Well, no, the Red Bull does get out of the way then, so that Red Bull doubt he's going to start another lap then. Now he's got a good amount of ERS saved up for the run to the line, then cuts the final corner as much as possible across the line. Is it within the 1/6? No, he's half a second slower. Nilu then, he went to second place not too long ago. The two Williams, Ruben was able to improve, but by only 2/10 then. Toro is about to cross the line as well then. Vastas down 13th. Froby then, what can he do? The second Mercedes then, his teammate Michael is up in P10. Can he move himself into the top 10? No, he improves by only a 10th then, and the two Williams were unable to improve.
Well, I think that was Toro who managed to bin it there, and that is not good at all on behalf of Williams. Obviously, Nedzo was saying earlier that Ruben was not feeling prepared at all for this Grand Prix. Really strategy-wise as well. Hopefully, he can manage to pull it out of the bag and just play it smart throughout the race. But really, it's a test of constructors on who's going to work together, who's going to play it separate as well. Kevin, his teammate, I think in P9 Daisy, hopefully going to try and push their way up the pack. It will be an interesting fight for the rest of the pack. But Nilu, P2, both Mavus and Kevin were confident with their laps until Nilu just pulled it out the bag.
Once again, Nilu impressing us day in, day out then. It is a lot of laps around it, 36 laps, and tell you what, I'm so ready for it. As Tiaz picks up another pole position, Nilu just half a tenth away, and a further half tenth, Kevin in P3, then Mavis and Ruben P4 and P5, Nicholson P6, Remus P7, Dinshaw P8, and running out the top 10 on the 5th row, you have Toro and Michael. Will go ahead and take the rest.
P11 goes to Stade Daisy, so I was mistaken. P11 there for the Ferrari. P12, G-Man Gaming, the Haas there. Vastas there. P13, P14, Froby. P15, Lucek. P16, as the stream goes down. P16 goes to Werner. P17, Dylan. P18, Mick. P19, Jix with a qualifying ban. And P20, ACM with a disconnection. So, Yale, we're in for a good race, I think.
Yeah, safe cars can 100% happen around here. Nedzo, what's your take on this circuit, the Autodrome Interlagos, whatever it's called? Your take on it? I mean, it is a classic, isn't it?
Well, it's been on the circuit a lot of years, since 1973. It used to have a lot longer layout, but I think in terms of a strategy, you want to... I think Maverse told me that a one-stop is plausible, but it's very borderline. You have to save your tyres. So I think he said he was going to go for the two-stop. I'm guessing it will be a medium, hard, medium, because there's so many laps around here, and there's a lot of cornering pressure on the tyres. So I think that's the strategy we'll be looking for, either a borderline one-stop or a two-stop.
But here we come now. The grid is set, and we're set for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's lights out. It's going to be go. Does Tiaz get the line? He was off the line, but Nilu's going to look for the dive bomb. It's 2-1. Tiaz forces him there and manages to keep the lead with a perfect start there. Mathers holding off Kevin from the back. And it looks like Mathers is all over the back of Nilu. Nilu under pressure now after having a bit of an effort there. And the Williams, Pincho in P7 there. Williams of Toro manages to get himself up to P6 and has managed to just defend him off there. But Nilu is all over the back of Tiaz. Up in the rear, that's given Mavis an even better opportunity this time to switch back. No, he's just going to wait. That's, I think, a Mercedes back there, of Froby there. I think went off track. But what a start from Tiaz that managed to hold off Nilu.
Well, start by Mavis as well, getting past Kevin and now attacking Nilu, and he's on the hard compound ties further behind for, P12 to P15. It's absolute chaos. The Red Bull and the Haas, now that's the Red Bull of Dylan and the Haas of Lucek going side by side. Now Lucek with a bit of a snap of oversteer. Dylan is going to say thank you very much, and he's going to go down inside. Jigs is in the thick of it as well, trying to get past, going into jump south. That's late braking, wheel banging, sideboard banging. Lucek into the grass then, and he's lost a lot of momentum. Ramos then also, he had a bit of an incident coming out of turn 3 then, but he's looking to make amends early on in the race now. Already trying to get past, and Ruben picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Surely he'd have front wing damage. Nilu, can we, sorry, not Nilu, Nedzo, can we get a confirmation on that? As Ramos tries getting past Jigs, Jigs are just running out too wide.
Not sure if he does have wing damage for certain, but I'm guessing by an early pit stop he does. The problem is, what strategy is he going to go to now? He's probably just got to go to hards and hope for something to happen. But a lot of drivers forcing each other off here. It's getting very tense. I'm worried for the rest of the race if these drivers are going to be able to stop crashing into each other.
There's a lot of wheel banging. We just saw G-Man and Michael bang wheels going into turn 4 then, and it seems like that is a bit of a pattern there. Nilu barely hanging on to the 1 second gap of TS. No, he's actually just outside of it now. The DRS detection point is after Junk Salvan and up towards the main straight. Is he inside of it? Oh, it's so tricky to tell. I don't think he is then. Well, early in this race, Nilu already outside of 1 second.
That is incredible from Piazza's pace, and we know he's got the pace, but look at that, Nilu already getting the quickest lap with a 1:10.3. So, there's obviously some spark there with Nilu managing just to get ever closer, looks like throughout that last sector. Mathers going extremely wide there, almost letting Kevin by. So was that some sort of discussion there? But he obviously went by there and moves up to P3, and that's a big gap actually between those two. And you don't really see a Red Bull and a Fire work together. So, obviously happen, then maybe we can look at position back. But Mathers in P4, obviously missing out that third spot, but I do wonder what just happened.
Yeah, surely a better exit out of turn 2 then. Side by side now, still between Michael and Werner this time around. Then G-Man Gaming has managed to clear them. Still side by side. Then going into the second sector, the RB trying to hold it round the outside. No, it's just so much of a one-line corner that is, and there is front wing damage on the RB of Werner. And I was just going to point out then, Nilu back within a second of Tiaz, so Tiaz must have used a lot of ERS to break that 1 second, but it is once again close as everyone in the top 8 is in the lead ERS train, and I think it was ACM who moved up 7 positions off the start. Of course, Ruben losing out quite a few after his early pit stop.
Yep, might catch up to Tiaz this time, because he's all over the back now. He's got the DRS opportunity. First time he's going to get it, and he get enough from Tiaz. He may just wait out until back straight third. We know Tiaz is quite quick through these corners. Nilu may be even quicker. So let's come hopefully soon. But that's a big gap there actually from Daisy all the way to D-Man with who's that Vasquez, and that's a gone round there. Nilu locks the rear tyres and almost goes round, dropping not one, it's full drop. Dropped out at least 4 positions there, and that is something else that was on for an amazing chance for hopefully a win, but absolutely loses it and is now in P6. So the Williams of Toro moves up, but let's talk about Ruben. He's in P20 and he's got a 10-second time penalty, LA. It's not looking good for him.
Well, we've seen Ruben pull out something special when everything was against him. And that's what happened. I think Nilu just pushing way too hard on high fuel with tires that are probably high on temperature as well. You make those sort of mistakes when trying to stay within the DRS of Tiaz, and he did one of those, such a costly one as well, and you saw there on the onboard that he was just barely hanging on with the rear tires. And after that little move, and now Mavis is going to try going up the inside of Kevin, then side by side between the two of them. Once again, another car gets pushed out wide going into turn 4, and Mavis, he's loving these hard competitive tires as he's back up into P2. For the first time up into P2.
Mavis is really catching up to Diaz. Diaz almost looks like he's got something wrong with him. That gap is now dropped significantly, and now Mavis is all over the back of Diaz. And Diaz is either A, struggling for grip, or B, just really not getting up grip to the track. And looks like Mavis is on for it. Hopefully he can be on for his first win this season. He's been in the podium spot in Belgium, but can he get a win this time here in Brazil? Well, he's got the DRS this time. Will he look for a move into turn 1? Here he comes now up the line. He's using the DRS. He's going to use his DRS as well. Right on the outside now. He spots through. Mavis now takes the lead on lap 6 here in Sao Paulo. And Kevin is going to try and make that move as well. Remember, Diaz may... Actually, I don't know if it's confused with maybe starting DRS. I don't think so. There we go. No, he doesn't. Diaz is now opening it up and he's going to go for a move this time. Will it be enough to catch up? No. And Mavis has managed a great gap. And just no take that with Mavis. He's popping up and starring with hard.
Absolutely, and now he can control the pace of the field, so he can make sure his heart's staying good nick as the mediums of Tiaz and Kevin wear away in the dead here. Look at Nicholson as well, just chilling in the DRS, also on the hard tires. This is a great strategy fight. The hard tires, they can go a while, but how long can they go? Can they go for the one stop? Is the one stop quicker? Is the two stop quicker? I 100% agree with Ned, so that it's going to be 2 mediums, 1 hards if you're going to go for the 2 stop, but I highly think we will see some drivers trying out the 1 stop, and Mavis might just be one of them, because he does not get this opportunity a lot, as Ramos has retired then, and it's in the hairpin there where Hamilton killed Albon all those years ago now, and yeah, it looks like he had a snap of overs or something as Tiaz retakes the lead then, and he did have quite a bit of ERS left, so Mavis needs to retake it quickly, because Tiaz can easily run away with this. I still think the mediums are the quicker tires, but look at this, Mavis using his ERS and the DRS. He's going to try pulling off the same move he did to Kevin once again to the inside of turn 1. Nicholson gets past Kevin, and Mavis gets back into the lead.
There you go, he takes the lead on lap 7. But I was just going to point out with Remus's crash, that was at the exact same point when Nulu had gone round. So something is not working well for those drivers, and it may just be just locking those rears or something like that. It's just not going well at all for those. But Toro in P5, he's going to try and hunt for at least a podium position. He's got Kevin in front of him, Nicholson thrusting himself up to P3. That's an incredible one as well. Then it's like further back. That's an even bigger incident there. That's been Mick and Michael. That is, and also 3 drivers.
Yeah, James, Michael, and Mick all involved in that incident there. I mean, they were all sort of on top of each other. Well, there surely was some sort of contact. Kevin is just losing positions here. He started in P2 and is down in P5 now on the 8th lap as Nilo comes into the box.
And so I have to say, these hard compound drivers seem to be dominating the leading compound drivers. Is this something that is interesting, or?
Oh yes, it is interesting. I think the reason why Nilu's come in is because he must have cheesed his tyres by making that mistake earlier on. He's going on to a set of hards, and I'm guessing that he is now committed to a 2-stop. There's no way he's doing a 1-stop from here.
That's an interesting part. Diaz is already 5/10 off from Mavis, and Mavis on the hard compound tires. Nicholson is on the hard compound tires. He never really scored off at the front. He's always a mid-track fighter. He's in P3 at the moment with Kevin, with Toro. And then Kevin on the medium compound tires. That's why they're dropping back so much. But Ned, these medium compound tires, you must be dying. It's like off-compound tires.
Well, I wouldn't say they'd be dying just yet. I'd probably wait until about lap maybe 10, maybe even lap 15 to say that. On previous games, it was always that you could do 15 laps in the mediums and 20 laps in the hards at this track. But it depends, to be truly honest. I think that the mediums will be slightly better still, but the hards can match in the hands of a capable driver like Mavis, like Nicholson, like Toto, who are right in the back of Tiaz as he makes these moves to the lead.
This time it's going to try and join into the pack here. It's the three-way for Williams now. Navarro missed out to the centre exit there after snapping the rear. Toro going to do it in the pack as well. But Diaz managed to find a gap, and that's almost got Mamu with a front wing damage as well after getting taken out by one of the Ferraris. Has one of the Ferraris got damage as well? That's one interesting part. Sorry, P5 and P6. That's interesting to see. State Daisy starting P11. So that's amazing, considering he's managed to increase himself up the back. Look at that, 5 positions he's come up yellow, and that's pretty well.
Yeah, Kevin outside the DRS range of the top four. So Kevin really struggling on the high fuel and on the medium compounder tires. I think the hards, sure, they might take a lap or two to grip up. But since lap 1, Kevin's been struggling on those mediums, not getting a good start, getting overtaken by Mavericks on the hards. So it's not looking like a great Grand Prix for either him or Ruben. Ruben now only 4 seconds off Mick, but still with that 10-second time penalty then, as Mavericks needs to recharge his ERS then. And now Kevin and Stay Daisy swapping positions. Kevin made that rather easy for Stay Daisy, who can now hopefully go after the front four of these guys. Mavericks then using the ERS and the DRS, of course, down the inside. He's done this move 2 times before. Can he do it for a third one? Of course he can. Mavericks back into the lead on the hard compounded tires. He's absolutely loving this track, this car, this setup, and those tires.
If he's doing very well in these hard compound tires, he'll be flying. Hopefully on the medium compound tires. But really, with the compound tire runners, they don't look like they're flying at all. However, already pulling out, apparently, in those 2. And the interesting one is all over the back of Diaz, just on the rear. But it looks like the medium compound tires, actually, on the straight. And then the cornering looks like the hard compound tires maybe to get the win. But Nico comes to try and look for the rest of the as he comes now onto the start from the straight. Once he's going to have to get another overtake for the lead of the race, to be doing this for 10 laps now. So here he comes now, looking for the down the inside this time, where he's doing nothing, he has. Top of the head. Now Mavericks is going to wait for the opportunity to lock up in the front left there from Diaz. Not like he's thinking out the apex, that's the line Mavericks has got even more. And look at that, now the Diaz is coming now. But yeah, now he is now, all over the back end, and Diaz holds the inside line now. Will it be enough? Never enough. Mavericks fixed to the outside line, and it's a great defense there. And look at that, dropping back, Runner into the pit lane. Here comes down, Mavericks gets the move, and still side that point. And he's fumbled that lead yellow, isn't he?
That is also close. TS had a very acute angle going out of turn 2, which means Mavericks was all over the back of him then. But great defensive driving by TS using his ERS then. Mavericks tried it on the exit, and I was getting flashbacks from season 3 of VDRL there between Freitzhaus and I think it was Seasword all those years ago now, where both of those came together on lap 36 out of 36. This time though, it's all clean, but Mavericks hustling and harrying the back of the stake, Pick Saber F1 team car, and he's gonna try to go towards turn 1 now in the slipstream. Once again, DRS then, I think he wants to wait until the second straight. You can see he went briefly into medium and none, but no, I think Tiaz is gonna force the move. Down the inside goes Mavis, then Tiaz slots in behind then, and I reckon he can get past going into turn 4 if he gets a good run. Doesn't get the best of runs there. Smaller, struggling with the race, as we'd expect those mediums going to fall up a bit now. Mavis is far enough ahead to where he can take the racing line going into turn 4.
And Nico's gun is just trying to
fall behind. Mavis there again. So everyone's struggling with car temps.
And it definitely is the case, because Nico's gun is just trying to get even closer. He's just watching. The more he watches, the more Toro will have a chance to attack him even more. But look at that, ATM dropping further back in the grid after his disconnect. Sadly, in qualifying, hopefully he can get himself further up in the grid for the throughout the race. But it's almost a gap there between Mavericks and Diaz. Diaz is eager to try and get this win to increase the lead in the championship, because he knows that Ruben is in 12. There's still points with very different kind of rules. But look at this now. Will it be enough to actually the race 50-10? Nico's gun is going to hop on this time round the outside. No, hard one for the inside turn 1. Mavericks knew that was coming, and it's going to wait for that opportunity to come again. Look at that, he's nicking the rear there of Diaz. Can he do it now? In the second DRS now, here it comes. And it's coming wide open from now, and Diaz holds the engine outside line, and there we go. Mavericks, I think he can lead the race. Doesn't seem to be getting that grip that he needs.
They basically got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and they are going on to fresh mediums. So that is a 2-stop for one of the Ferraris. Then Kevin came in 2 laps ago on the hards. Then we'll see if the undercut work to get past his teammate. No, it wasn't even close. Kevin really struggling. But that 10-second time penalty will be haunting the Ferrari of State Daisy then, as these four still waiting. I think Tiaz is going to go for the 1-stop here because he's stretching out this medium stint then, but it's looking like his reign of DRS is going to come to an end in 1.1 seconds. He's got jumps out to try and get into the DRS. No, he does not going to get exit. Where's the DRS line? That it is. 1.4 seconds. Nicholson is sure going to get past these hard tires, and I think Tiaz will be coming into the pits. Yes, Tiaz into the pit lane. So 13 laps on the mediums. Can he do 23 laps on the hards? Nedzo, I reckon that's a bit too much.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too much. Ironically, if you could use the same set of tyres 3 times, he could do 3 sets of mediums, because he's gone 12 laps on this one. He can do 12 laps on the next one, 12 laps on the next one. Oh, yeah. But he's gone onto the set of hards, which I assume he'll try and take to about lap 25 and then go for mediums to the end. Yano flags in set to 3, that's one of the McLarens. I think it's had a bad time of things, but I think Tiaz is going to rejoin in 8th place here. He's going to come out just in front of the House of Luzchek, and he should have a little bit of clean air before he gets to Stay Daisy and Froby.
Yes, Stay Daisy stuck behind the Mercedes of Froby at the worst part of the track, and not being able to get past going into turn 4. Now Froby going very defensively into a high-speed corner then. Stay Daisy still looking left, looking right, and this is now hurting Tiaz, because Tiaz is now only 3 tenths behind. Froby also with front wing damage, both of them rear banging Tiaz. Watch out, don't damage your front wing then. He does not want to get caught up in any sort of contact here, as now he's going to try looking round outside, but all of a sudden there's a Mercedes there boxing him in then, as there's contact down the other. I've jinxed him. He's got front wing damage, front left surely. I mean, I think I saw a piece of carbon fiber flight, yeah, 100%, as Mavers picks up a 10-second time penalty, so all of a sudden Nicholson is in the driving seat, or Nicholson and Toro are in the prime seat to win this. Both of our potential winners falling at different hurdles.
Toro, the man who's been waiting for that win for a long time, maybe on for it this time. The thing, has managed to get it in there, and he's been held up so much. And it's only 3-8, and he's still trying to fight with the pride. But he's going to be the man who we thought would be on for the win of the race. But here comes Diaz down the inside line. We got it back there with Nico-san, and it looks like Diaz going to make his way through. But that was some interesting racing there. That will be definitely reported back to Stewart for an incident that occurred. And Kevin will be watching that from behind. Will hopefully be looking for a move down the inside. But we'll wait for that deal. I think come on, Yellow, that was something else.
Toro must be absolutely loving this. Tiaz front wing damage. Nicholson has spun because of Tiaz front wing damage. Of course, not that much front grip understeers into him. And Mavers 10-second time penalties. Tell you what, the most total thing to do now is to pick up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But if I were him, I would extend to like lap 20 and then go into medium as Stay Daisy flies past the Haas, which eventually comes into the pit lane for fresh tyres.
That's the same for Diaz. This is now well. Obviously, not up 2-5. It's not enough for him this time. Side one from Kevin there, looking at the front left, but it's still enough to get ahead into P5. Diaz maybe slowly dropping down the grid after getting affected so much by the opposition. We've had such a chaos race, but Diaz looking to move this time. Will we do the same? He did to Nico's son. No, he's not. He's going to play it smart and he's going to wait for that opportunity for the DRS to come again. And I'm sure it won't be long, but Kevin looks like he's gone off the road.
Biggs picking up 3 seconds as well. Quite a few penalties that we've got here tonight. Toro and Nilo. I think Nilo's already made his pit stop, Martin. If we can get confirmation of that, then here we go. Let's look at the stops then. So yeah, Nilo, after having his moment there, is now in there effectively, but he needs to stop again. I think he lap 8 or so. He cannot make those tires last that long. Here we go. 8 lap close, and we're already on lap 16. Toro now pits. Will be in mediums for 18, 19 laps then. I don't think they'll make it then. We'll see what tires he goes on to. Williams, of course, at the bottom end of the pit lane. And he's going on to the medium. So Netzo, does that confirm maybe a hard, medium, soft strategy? Because he went pretty long on the hards for a 2-stop.
No, I think he's still going to stop. I think he's just trying to prolong that hard. I think he's just clouded the wall on the exit of the pit lane. He needs to be worried, careful he's not going to get any damage here. He's taking a lot of risks where he doesn't really need to here. He's got Dincho right in front of him. That is a bit of a annoyance because it seems these drivers, they are coming out, they are trying to optimise their strategies, but they're not optimising where they're coming out compared to the rest of the pack. Because Tiaz did it, and now Toro's did it. You need to actually figure out, you need to find the exact gap that you're going to drop back into, because if you don't, then you're going to be really struggling, as Dylan has decided to pit as well, from into last place. So Toro's got the better tyres than Tiaz. He should be able to get by him, especially when he's got DRS and Tiaz hasn't, and Tiaz has damage. But this is the problem now that Toro's got, where if I was him, I'd be going until he pitted on lap 16, so I'd go until lap 26 and then pit for another set of mediums.
100%. Then leads 5.5 seconds ahead of Mavis, who's on significantly younger tires from behind. Then Stay Daisy on mediums. Then the second Ferrari of Kevin, heavily under pressure from Nicholson, who was spun around recently but has found pace again in these medium tires and is going to absolutely fly by the Ferrari. Then with DRS Bank going into turn 4, and he's got that move further behind. Then Toto getting past TS on the record post. And Mick picking up another 10 seconds for speeding in the pit line. Guys, you need to break a bit earlier. That pit line is earlier than you'd expect then. It is a 80 km/h pit limit, but once again, these guys just making easy mistakes which can be avoided.
And that is interesting because now Kevin is all over the back of this one. It may look like that Tiaz stayed up position, but really Tiaz is just dropping further and further down the grid as Cora has got past him there into Q6. So Tiaz after that incident with Nicholson and also the crash there with the Mercedes of Michael, I believe. Affecting him so much that it's now made him not become a championship sprint, a race contender. Just for this, look at this Toro for the move on the inside line. That's a slow Aston Martin. And almost three impressive. But he is going to go for the move, and Toro down for the move in turn 1. There's not 2-1. He gets 2 cars there. Obviously, just an and Kevin and leaves them almost to dust. But remember, they've now got DRS opportunity. Toro almost going to try and come up the inside line. Kevin's going to look for it this time. Is it going to be enough? Almost something there. But Toro stays ahead now, moves up to P4. Those fresh cars are really working well for him.
Absolutely getting that double move done going into turn 1. Nicholson back in P6. He did not have any ERS or DRS down the main straight, which allowed Kevin and Toto to say thank you very much and move up into P4 and P5. Toto now is setting off to Stay Daisy and Mavis. Mavis closing up on a race speeder as well, who still needs to make another pit stop, and we'll wait for that. Surely that will be in the next 5-6 laps or so. And I will say, Will, it is getting quite doom and gloom there as the crowds have gathered. So maybe late on in the race, a bit of rain.
I really hope so. Kick there, and maybe go round the circuit. Look at Kian is to try and it's nice on that impact by but managing to almost in the but look at that, he's going to have to move down the inside, and it's not to move there, and Mike is coming from a long way, and going to get himself now into P11. Michael is still trying to have 100% cut. Toro is going to try and hunt down these people, Stay Daisy now, and almost going around their ATM in well, Jesus, that was amazing thing to do. Almost taking out another driver, and that is coming up with his tyres, which is really fighting with them as well, and he has got 30 which is absolutely taking too much. Toro up to P3 now, and he's going to be on the hunt for another just now in that whole thing, but really hitting on the lead of 2 laps. 2 seconds, sorry.
Wow, Jake's reactions are like cat there, just being able to avoid the RB, which is facing, which is pointing towards the apex, which is not what you want to be doing. And Toro manages to get past Daisy not too far away. Now he is released to chase down Maver. Sorry, he can't chase down himself. That would be rather impressive. I guess Control could do that. But neither than that gap is getting smaller and smaller between the front two. Then we can have a quick onboard of neither Martine, and if you could be facing rearwards, I want to have a quick look at how his rear tires are looking. So you can see that on the left especially, you can kind of see a different shade of black, and the darker shade is where obviously then it's coming into the pits. Never mind. Alright, so my tire analogy, forget about it. Anyway, into the pits then goes Neela, then surely for the medium compound of tires. Nedzo, down to you.
He might be going for some hards because he only did 14 laps on those hards. He might be going for another set. He might have gone for the harder option. He did. He went for the harder what was it called, selection in the pre-race menu. That is a brave choice from Neela. So he's going the medium hard. If he can make this work and get a race win, he deserves it, because it's something that I didn't think of, and it's something that guys like Mavis didn't especially think of. So if he can do this, he's going to come out in some relative, it's not clean air, but as long as he can get past the fastest, who isn't the fastest, then he will sort of be able to do something. He just needs to be able to get this move done quickly, and then he'll have a nice gap to Dincho and then Tiaz.
If he can get a post going into this little heavy braking zone, but he's a bit too far behind due to the dead here. He might have to wait until the main straight, charge up your battery a bit. But I don't think anyone had this on their radar, going medium, hard. We were either thinking, yeah, medium, hard, medium, hard, medium, or medium, hard. I don't think anyone thought about this, so Neil trying something different, and I acknowledge that now. Can he get past on the main straight? Does Vastav has DRS off Dincho? It's going to be a close one. I think it does, so Neil is going to have to roll out all his DRS. This is going to be a crucial move, because if he can get past it, he can get past Dincho on the next DRS straight. Dincho goes into the pits, and that's an easy move then for Neil on the fresh compound tires. Dincho another 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane.
Dincho having an absolute shocker for this race after receiving quite a few 10-second time penalties. I think that's his second, I believe. So he is having an absolute shocker with this one, but Vastas there is going to try and follow Nilu's ways, but it's still not going to be enough, because Nilu has run off with already a 4.6 second gap, I believe that is, from him. So that is not very good at all. But Mavers is in the lead of the race, and he is going to try and get hunted down there, by Toro. And we are over halfway through this race, so let's see what can happen. Let's see what's going to happen throughout this race. Side-by-side action this time. Ruben and Chicks. Chicks down the inside. Is it going to be enough for Ruben to try and do a switchback? Hunting him from the rear, just saying, let me go, please. I haven't got any penalties at all. So he's going to try and fight as much as he can, but he is hopefully going to go for a switchback. No, Fix is doing an awesome job getting that memory back. Milo 1094. He's flying out, and it looks, sounded like there yellow. Ruben backed out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very difficult move to go. These guys have been racing against each other. Started VDRL pretty much. And now Nicholson and Stay Daisy side by side, oh so close then. Now side by side towards the long right hand, and Nicholson trying it rather outside and holding it. Those mediums still 9 laps sold, still slightly better than the 11 lap or mediums. Really squeezing every second of pace out of them, as Dylan has spun and is now reversing into his parking spot at his local Lidl.
And I'm glad he's got his all shopping stuff now, because he's now returned back on track, almost taking out his teammate there. Mavers there in for the lead of the race.
But Dylan's got DRS because of that now, so that's strategical.
That was definitely planned for then, apparently. So Mavers is going to try and get enough. Look, Toro 4.8 behind him, but really a 10-second is so long here that it's going to be affected. Look at that, locking the rear stay Daisy. Nico's doing a very good job holding off. And who is this? This is Tiaz fighting with Nilu. Nilu into P4 now. He's going to have to try and fight his even further up the grid. He's doing so well this race so far. It would be a shame if he ever ruined it, like when he locked the rears fighting up for Tiaz. But Tiaz is in P5 now, so he's doing a good job. Kevin, P3, and it's 2.6 seconds away there from Toro. So this will be interesting to see who will be on the top three. We can actually do our predictions. I've just remembered.
Well, every race is slightly different from the commentary box, it must be said. This race, yeah, we're missing a couple of things, but just stirring up the pot, we're changing it up every now and then, even though our old method is very much tried and tested and works very well.
It definitely is.
There's Mayhurst.
And as you said, Mayhurst into the pit now this time, and well, actually, Mentor, that's down to you. What car is it going to?
He's going to go on to the mediums, I'm guessing. He's also serving his 10-second time penalty from earlier, and that will not help him, as Kevin also into the box. Yeah, Mayverse is going to lose a lot of time here. Onto a new set of mediums. He's even come out behind Kevin because of that penalty.
Kevin on softs.
Yeah, Kevin on softs. I don't know why he's going to softs. Softs in this game are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. They are genuine. I think I would rather beat myself up than use soft tyres in a race on F1 25. So that is a certified Kevin strategy there. You just need to have a bottle of Evian water and it will be perfect.
To be fair, he kind of bottled the start, losing out to Mayhurst, who's starting on the hards. And then kind of throwing his entire race away in the first one. So this is interesting because you've got Tias with front wing damage, one championship contender. Kevin, who is doing the surname Van Dyke, very proud, it must be said. And then you've got Ruben, who is doing everything apart from what Ruben does. Is his brother racing for him? We don't know.
This is interesting, this part. And let's keep an eye actually on the gap between Nilu and Toro. Now, that's already dropped down to, and as I was saying, that Toro's already picked. Nilu has now got his lead. Once again, he has obviously going to charge him behind when he can. But, I mean, Yale, can you think that Nilu's going to take this home?
Well, I've already jinxed one driver today, which is why I'm going to say no, absolutely. I think he will take this home. I reckon there's going to be a red flag, 3 safety cars, and a deer is going to run across the track and set a new lap record of 2 seconds.
Well, I can completely agree with that one. Hopefully that'll be coming in any minute then, as that will spice it up quite a bit, I have to say. But Kevin, on to the back of Nico-san. Nico-san is going to try and defend him as much as he can there, as I believe I just actually cussed out there, sorry about that. But yeah, Kevin's going to try and catch up to Nico-san. Nico-san looking a bit squirmish actually out of those corners, but he's being affected. Maybe those tyres, he's only to the hole. But remember, Kevin is on the soft compound tyres. He's on that charge for these last couple of laps.
Mick's crashed on a straight.
Safety car.
I'm too good. I'm off to Vegas, boys. I'll see you later.
Nilu in the box. Nilu in the box.
Yep, makes sense. It's a cheap stop for him. Tias is going to follow suit. Surely, is this medium? I don't think he has any mediums left if he tries to hard to. This can be for the soft compound tyres.
He might have a new set of mediums. He went medium, hard. Surely he has a new set. No, he's gone softs. He's gone soft.
I knew it.
Because I think you only have one set of medium if you pick the harder tyre compound.
He has it with a new front wing and a new set of mediums. This is going to get interesting because also this safety car is going to take at least like 2 or 3 laps to cycle around. I think Nilu's safe here. I think that we'll have about 5 laps remaining by the time we get the safety car in. But also, Toro and Nico-san have decided to stay out here because they have those fresh tyres on. This is going to be interesting. I think Toro's in the prime position here. Unless Nilu can cut through the pack early on with those softs, I think that Toro's in the perfect position here.
This is interesting now, isn't it, Ali? This race was just starting to space out a bit more, but Mick decided to have a little trip off to the barrier, sadly, and has now rallied up the pack this time. Toro, Nico-san, then Nilu. Nilu on that fresh soft compound tyres. Toro on 1 lap medium compound tyres, but there's a Nico-san on 3 laps, so who will be out ahead? And it will be interesting because there's a hungry Tias. I'm shocked he didn't go for the soft compound tyres, actually.
Maybe he has none left from qualifying, or maybe he's just not confident. But what's interesting, Nilu now needs to just protect his softs under the safety car as much as possible. I'm talking, they can be a bit cold. don't weave too much because you'll kill out your tires going down at the best. Just protect them. Tias, who had front wing damage, was 10 seconds of Nilo. Now got a free pit stop, including that front wing change, and is in P4. Stay Daisy P6. Kevin in P7. Mavers has slipped down to P8 because of all this. And Ruben now might have a small shot. Hold up, where is Ruben? He's P15. With his lack of penalties, he could shoot up the order quite a bit.
There talks on radio actually that Toro is not happy with his pace, and this safety car may have just helped him quite a bit. But I'm sure his engineer will be on him and telling him that, by the way, Nilu is on fresh soft compound tyres, and he's not even a second away from you. So it will be all eyes on Toro to see what the start he can perform. But yet we are still looking for a couple of laps because not all drivers have managed to make it round to the safety car yet.
Yeah, the grid was very much spaced out. I mean, look at Jigs then, who's... Hold up, I just realized Dylan's lapped.
Dylan is lapped.
Okay, well, we are going to get a bit of chaos. I mean, me and Neds would like to say safe cars breed safe cars, as Luchek manages to pick up a 3-second time penalty during yellow flag conditions then. So I think the safe car is going to be in next lap because it can only be out for a certain amount of laps then. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a 6-lap sprint race showdown. I find it hilarious. You can see the other cars on the other side of the track there. Just coming out of 10, 4 and 5 then. Because the safe car is going to lead away as I can see there's a bit of changing of positions during the safe car. I wonder if they're trying to let Dylan through by driving off track. I'm not too sure. But Toro and Nicholson on the mediums, as we've mentioned before, then. I mean, this has got interesting finish written all over it. I think the drivers can see the writing on the wall that something. I'm not going to say what could happen because I don't want to say it again. But we are in for a good one.
We definitely are, Yellow, that is for sure. We like our little sprint races here. Any ones we can get, we take. And when we take them, they give us awesome action with these 18 drivers on the grid now, as I say that. But the last cars are now rounding out of the safety car line. So that instant looks like it's been cleared by the marshals, and hopefully, well, a big chip of something went up there. But
I think that's
hopefully,
I've been seeing
yeah,
it
it probably was.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, Dylan is not happy at all because he's decided to go take out a barrier. Not barrier, sorry, a little board. Not liking the sponsors, I don't think at all from that. So obviously they weren't paying him enough, and he's decided to go and smash that for fun.
Martin, can we go on board with Nixon during the safecar restart? Then the message should be there shortly as the safecar will switch off all its lights then as we enter the third and final sector of this track in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Then here we go, should be right about now. There it is, safecar in at the end of this lap. Then Toro leads out of Nicholson and then Nilu. We are gonna have 6 laps of racing, ladies and gentlemen. Toro and Nicholson versus Nilu further behind. They're still swapping going. Well, boys, just speed alright. It's not that hard. It's what you did at school when you were 5 years old, or what you were doing at the grocery store. Just to bring back that that reference that we all love and know. Then when will Toro go? Then he's waiting. Vast has 10 seconds, ignoring yellow flags. That's unfortunate. When will Toro go? He's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting a long time. Then Nicholson is practically pushing him across the line. This I'll pull out a description so you can accelerate. Now Toro is gonna. Nicholson has been caught napping quite a bit. Then Nilu's not able to get past Dunster. Can he do under braking? He's glad to right round the outside going into turn 1. No, he's getting now. Look to the left, right to left, left to right, onto the virtual posta. We go then for the 31st time. Can Nilu get past going into turn 4 there, doing what Mavers has done so many times this race? He looks to the inside, now chooses the outside then, has great grip on the soft competitors. Tias, can he follow through directly as well then? Nilu giving a substitute. I think Tias says yes, Tias past Nicholson then. So Nilu and Nicholson, Tias getting past early doors, and now Toro needs to watch out. His only shield, his only mobile chicane is down to P4.
He has saw that opportunity coming and he took it. Now they're both on the hunt for the leader, Toro. Can Toro manage to hold it out? Literally, we're just 5 laps. Well, that's all to play for. But really, Tiaz is going to be hungry. He's got a fresh front wing, he's got some fresh tyres. But Nilu is on the soft compound tyres. Both on the exact same. Who will be the quicker driver? That will be the interesting part. But look at that, Tiaz is using his ERS along this straight. Will he get enough to dive into turn 1? Here he comes. Now Nilu covers the inside line. No, Tiaz backing out. Looks like a lock up there from Toro. Toro managing to hold him out. Toro will be loving this if these two can just fight out more and more and more. But it looks like that, Nilu has got the DRS opportunity, but yet still not enough to make a move. As I said, no, he just stays behind there.
He needs to charge up his battery now where his tires are good in the middle sector, and charge up your battery here and use it. Use the tires here, then use the battery later, and he knows that you can see that red light flashing at the back of the Alpine then, and Tiaz is doing the exact same thing. The pair of them in on, I would not be surprised if Toro is doing the exact same thing, but does Toro have good enough top straight speed, or straight line speed I should say, as I managed to speak the English language to an absolute T then, as now through Jung-Sao, DRS is going to be enabled for 2 out of the top 3 drivers, and those 2 drivers are, of course, Nilu and Tiaz, as they are within 1 second of the car ahead then. Here we go, 100 meters, 50 meters, DRS wide open through the stake, and the Alpine, the stake, great straight line speed from the stake kicks out, but then interception, but he's going to get boxed in down the inside, goes Nilu into turn 1, there's contact, Tiaz onto the grass, then can Toro get past through the retro post and into turn 4. I think it's just a bit too far back to Tiaz. Needs to get past here if he wants a shot at Nilu. Toro tries to shut the door on him, but he can't now. Side by side through turn. Forced off once again. We're ending this race as we're starting it with the car being forced up at turn 4. Nilu past Toro. Tiaz past Toro as well.
Nilu spun!
Oh, Nilu, no.
Nilu P3 dropping. He's going even further down the grid out of aggression. Rejoining the pack. P13, P14, P15. He's just dropping to the back now. He's now put himself to P17. P3 to P17 after losing it. He's done that before. We've seen it happen, and Neto just pointed it out. But Toro has managed to take the opportunity and has now gone up through P2, but Tiaz, the man who's has managed to get a new front wing, has managed to again, that's an off there for Dylan as well from the Red Bull. We've seen that before as well, but will Toro strike back with the DRS opportunity? No, he won't. He's just going to sit back. He will take these points. He can get Ruben and P12 as well. So the championship points obviously with Remus out of the race. So it will be very good for Williams as well. But will Toro go for it? I can't imagine he will. But my God, what a missing out opportunity that will be for Nilu, and he will be punching himself.
You can't make this up. He was ready to stop. I mean, Tiaz was behind him, yes, but once again, just prone to the pressure, or maybe his toes weren't that bad. I highly doubt it. But now we have Tiaz versus Toro. Kevin a bit further behind as well. I can't believe that has happened to Nilu. What a way to end this race. He was up, he was down, he was back up. But then when it mattered the most, he was down. And Jigs says, that corner is just a nightmare for the Alpine team, isn't it?
It's lacking something, that's for sure. And that is what's affecting them so much as we see Jakes almost go around and dropping himself to the back of the grid after the retirement there from Dylan. Toro will be lurking this time. He's inside the DRS range. And I can't imagine because, I mean, it's only a lap actually winning these tires. That lap can make a difference. Actually, as I say that, look at this. Toro getting even closer. He wants to win because he's been waiting for this one for a while now. But will it be enough for him to do it now? Coming off from these Senate S's, will it be him onto the top step of the podium? Well, that's a crash further back. Who's that? That is Michael in the Mercedes having an incident there, and he's now dropped, but it's not enough for Jakes. Side by side action there between Navas. It was a P12, and he's going to go over the back of G-Man, and it's going to try and get the slipstream enough, and again he does. Break down the sun, looks like G-Man had probably damage on the front left there as well, as a hat of his teammate there. Just going to try and fight behind Nilu joining in as well. But Toro is just sitting and waiting, and that is a retirement there from Michael. And we have now got 16 cars on this grid, and we're just dropping slowly, aren't we?
Dropping slowly but surely. Then we lost Remus early on, Nick a bit later, and now Dylan and Michael both retiring on track. Then Toro, he just manages to find grip on the red tires Can he now get past Tias on the main straight? Martin, I know that the fight for P16 and 15 is very much important, but I think Toto is going to slice your neck open if you don't show this and he wins it. Then here we go then, Toto. He's got, I think it's 3.5 kilometers left then, 15 or so corners if I remember correctly. I might be way off, in which case Nedzo is going to be shouting at me after this race. But he's in the slipstream, in the DRS, but it's just not enough. This straight line speed that Kick Sauber has, and that's of Tias, is absolutely ridiculous. Certainly he's done something with that setup to where he has straight line speed, but also gripping the corners then. They have 2 seconds to go. Struggling. I was talking about gripping the corners, but he was really struggling there, as he can't find a way past. He's going to need a great run out of Jinsao onto the main straight with DRS, slipstream, ERS. He's going to have to throw everything at him that he possibly can. Then Toto versus Tias. Kevin has fallen off. He's at P3, and that's pretty much clear then. But I think Tias is just eking out a bit of a gap, which is too big for Toto to catch it. Coming out of Jinsao, you can see Toto pushing, braking as late as he can then. Puts his foot down. 5/10 is the gap that he's using all his DRS, but in the end, it was never meant to be for Toto. Tias takes the win after a roller coaster of a ride. Toto takes P2. Kevin has somehow weaseled his way back up to P3, and what a finish it is for the two Aston Martins, P4, P5. Vastas, you can probably get that penalty removed, as it seemed like there was a bit of chaos happening there. P5 Dincho, or P6 Dincho would be 7th Stay Daisy. P8 Ruben Freitas, P9 Werner, we'll take the rest later. Nilu only P10 at the end. What could have been?
Man who qualified pole position was meant to be for the win, and he managed to pull it out of the bag after his saving from the safety car and got that new front wing in. The unfortunate event of Nilu costing him his his race win hopes, slowly dropping down the drain there, and he was obviously left just hang out to dry, and I don't know if he retired from that race, but that was just hurtful. So hurtful. But look at that, Tias race winner. The fast lap goes to Nilu, actually, as I don't know, see the driver of the day, ACM. We didn't really see much for ACM today, sadly. So but most overtakes goes to Dincho. Dincho, the man who managed to get more penalties, I think, than overtakes.
That's impressive. I reckon they should have a award for that as well.
Yeah, I have to say that. But let's go through that finishing order. So the top of the tables, obviously, goes to Tias after he was amazing win there. Toro P2, P3 goes to Kevin, P4 Nico-san, P5 Dincho, 6th Stay Daisy, 7th Ruben, 8th Vernon, 9th Vastas, P10 Nilo, and over to Yellow.
Well, P11 just missing out on the top 10 is ACM, Froby P12, Mavers P13. What happened to him? He was leading for quite a while, looking very good, but in the end, the Mavers smoke has struck him once again. G-Man P14 and his teammate and countryman P15, Jigs P16, and then our DNFs, Michael, Dylan, Mick, and Ramos, all 4 of them DNFing. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, as Will and Nedzo will be hosting the interviews. From myself, it is thank you very much, and I'm on holiday for the next 3 weeks, so you'll get to have a nice break from my beautiful, beautiful voice.
And we are definitely going to miss you. So thank you so much, Yellow, for today. And we will see you in 3 weeks' time. As we Right, so what a race we have been through. And, well, that was just a hectic race. But I don't believe that Tias will be joining us, will he? I don't think he will. So we will be moving on to P2, which does go to Toro. Toro, welcome back. I mean, how does it feel?
Happy with my pace. I didn't expect to be even on the podium. But yeah, safety car fucked me over, as always. I think I could win it without it, but yeah, it is what it is. It was good fight with Tias till the end, but yeah, it is what it is.
Well, it was still good effort from you, and I bet you were very, very happy when you had seen that Nilu, sadly, obviously. Yeah, when he had sadly went round, you know, you must have felt a bit more of a hope because you were definitely getting close to Tiaz at the end.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, in this game, the dirtier is really not helping. I mean, under 410s, it's almost undrivable to be behind somebody. I mean, I didn't even have ERS. I think I had 30% or something like that. I know that Tiaz I think had even more than me, but yeah, it is what it is.
And that's all my questions. But Nedzo, any questions from you?
Why was Ruben so slow?
Ramos. I mean, he crashed into the Ramos because Ramos spun.
Okay.
And is that all the questions?
I think that's all our questions I have for Toro, yes.
And the winner has joined now. So Tiaz back to the top step of the podium. But let's get your thoughts through that incident you had after your first pit stop. That was between Michael, and you managed to pick up, sadly, some front wing damage. I mean, that must have been absolutely, must have really, really annoyed you.
Yeah, because I felt like I was gonna win the race because I thought, I don't know if it's true, but at least I thought I was the only one on the one stop because, yeah, as you notice, I stayed out for a very, very long time on the medium, so I was able to make it to the end on the hards, and I felt like that was the best strategy. And then two cars ahead of me are fighting. One of them had damage. I don't know if both of them were pit stop behind, but one of them was. And yeah, they just spun ahead of me and nothing I could do. I was not even really involved in it. They just crashed into each other and I got damage from it.
And also the incident between you and Nikos on as well. That must have just been an unlucky one. Were you looking and realize it was too late for that move?
I'm unsure at the moment. It could be that it's my fault. But it kind of felt like, at least in the moment, that he just kind of turned in on me. I felt like I was still there. So yeah, that's all my thoughts.
Neto, any questions from you?
So that's your third win in a row, and Nilu's just bottled it, and Ruben was nowhere. So with this nice cushion you've got in the standings, how are you feeling at the moment?
Yeah, very comfortable.
Maybe want to add something to that answer. Maybe a bit longer.
Many words, we say.
What do I say? You want me to say like, I'm so far ahead, I'll never lose this.
The famous words.
I'm just comfortable. That's it. Like it's comfortable and confident. I think I'll win it.
And there we go. The famous words he says. Well, that'll be determined in a few rounds' time. Will he be able to be crowned the season 9 champion? But let's move on to the best till last. Kevin Van Dijk in P3. Kevin, that was that was a very good performance from you, and I bet you it got really tense at the end with that safety car.
Yeah, actually the safety car in the end helped me because I was on the softs before the safety car and I didn't meant to go on the softs. So I was basically fucked. But the safety car saved my race. The quali, it was really bad. My quali was so shit. I could have got pole easily. But I made, I think 3 mistakes. But in every lap. And the race, yeah, in the first half of the race, I had 0 pace. I couldn't match Tias or Nilu or Toro, especially when the tire wear kicked in. I had so much trouble with getting traction down. So yeah, the first half was really bad, and the second half was better. Only in the end, it was a bit sad that I couldn't get in the DRS because I think they had more ERS, and yeah, I didn't have any chance to fight with Tias or Toro.
And I mean, it's nice to be back up at the tops of the podium, obviously with that unlucky bottling there from Nilu as well. But I mean, it was a very good job for you today, Kevin, and to secure some good points as well for you as well. But Ned, are there any questions there for Kevin?
I've got a couple. So obviously, I think with those results, you should be into second in the driver's standings, ahead of Ruben, ahead of Nilu. So is this your springboard to try and to try and win the season? I know there's a big gap to Tiaz, but are you looking to better results?
Sorry, what was it? What did you say in the end? I couldn't hear it.
I said, are you going to use this as a springboard or as a platform to get better results in the future? Because this was a good result for you.
Yes, definitely. Because I need more consistency now, and I need to finish ahead of Tias if I want any chance to get the championship.
Maybe you need a subordinate teammate who is willing to help you in all situations. Also, secondly, this is your 40th third place finish in your VDRL career. You've got more third places than you have second or firsts. How would you respond to that?
I think my quali pace is definitely better than my race pace, so that explains it a lot. But still, I think I need to stay calm during the race, and that's my weakness.
So you'd say you're kind of like another Dutch driver who's got a history driving for Red Bull, then.
Sounds it.
Yeah.
Then. Is that all from you, Nedzo? Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
Well, we're glad that Nedzo's satisfied now. So it means we're all satisfied. We will see you next Friday in we'll say that Spain at the Circuit de Catalunya. So that will be an interesting race there as well. But thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all next Friday at Circuit de Catalunya. So until then, have a good night and goodbye.
Okay, clear.